Thank you, Dolores. Thank you for inviting me to share with you my personal impressions of Saint Brigid. I know that she can be a little bit elusive. Who was she? We know a lot about her. And, that's not good enough for me just to have an intimate experience with her. I need to go deep into myself. And I find that when I have the impression of Brigid in me, I have this lovely idea of soulfulness, the wilderness of the divine working through me, working in me, and this idea of the alchemy of the fire of Brigid in me, burning away the dross, if you like, the dross that I don't need to carry from my defense mechanisms, etc., etc. So Brigid for me would be synonymous with soul in the world, and that's a creative, fierce impulse. When we put fire into a Celtic psyche, we don't know what's going to come out. And this is the wonder of it, because we don't know. We have to have personal experience. I think it's the same maybe with Jesus the Christ. We read about him in Scripture. We read about him in the Gospels. About him, we read all around and about him. But what is it to have a personal experience? Well, we've got to find that within the cathedral of our own bodies. We've got to embody the divine, and this for me is important. And I'm going to read you something now from my book on Celtic, the Celtic Book of Dying, which has been re-edited this year, The Path of Love in the Time of Transition. And I've written a lot about Brigid here. And I hope that people get a sense of embodying. We women are wonderful at that. We embody life, we embody birth, we embody death. We bring it home, into the cells of our bodies. So I'm going to read this for you. Forever Brigid reigns in the underworld kingdoms of the unconscious. And from that moist and mysterious bed, she sets about shape-shifting our psyches. From there she creeps around, groaning, sensing, gathering, stirring all the parts that have been left parched and unattended to in us. She is Kali, Shakti. She is destroyer and lover. She is the weeder, the planter, who waters the seeds of our holiness that got windswept in the storms of our uprooting from grace. She claws at the map of our landscape and homes our trembling feet when we turn, twist, shake and tumble on our way back home. She always shows us the way back into, not out of our own thickets, full of luscious undergrowth and sticky smelling stuff. She points out the flowers in the compass of our unlived potential, and we run for fear of our own beauty. We hate her, yet we honor her nourishing wilderness. We want to strangle her and at the same time mold ourselves to her shadows. Whatever we do, however we try to ignore her or shake her off, she persists. She never condemns or abandons us, though at times we plead with her to do so. She knows that her work is to shake our inner, deepest foundations and build us up anew, stronger than we ever could have imagined. She threatens our stubborn attraction to duality, and her ultimate goal is that we honor our divinity in the fullness of our humanity. Now, that for me is what soul does. That's what life force does. And when I refer to Brigid in my teachings or in my whatever I'm doing, in the guha, music, whatever, it's like, okay, can you imagine soul in the world? Soul is destroying stuff that doesn't serve us. Soul is building up anew in us. And that's not easy. That's not an easy experience, to be built anew brick by brick into something magnificent that we had never even dreamed of. So in this little talk that I'm giving about Brigid, I as a psychotherapist use a lot of her teachings, if you like. Now, where do her teachings come from? They come through direct transmission when we are with the beloved, when we are with our own souls, when we are with our own alchemy, when we go through the nigredo, that dark night of the ego, when we go into that place where the light is beginning to shine, where we're beginning to see some wisdom in the steps we've taken. And in the very end, after the libido, because comes the albedo. Albedo, that healing power, that light. The soul is married with the ego, or earth mind as we call it in the Gaelic. So here we are, Brigid, soul, fire, transformation. That's it for me. Thank you.